Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming to the show today. I'm here with my friend Steve out in Houston, Texas, and pretty much the whole area. Steve, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm great, Max. Thank you for having me on. It's a real pleasure to be on with you. Have a beautiful day outside. It's only going to be 100 degrees or so, so it'll be good.
Exactly. Yeah. Welcome to Houston. So now you're not a newbie to real estate. You've got some experience, some seasoning. Tell me how you got into real estate, because I remember when we were talking in Houston, it wasn't, if I remember correctly, it wasn't like something you did from the very beginning. You've kind of made a transition. Can you speak to that a little bit of how it all happened?
Yeah, certainly. Well, I actually bought my first rental properties in 2002 when I thought I was going to be a real estate investor. Didn't have any idea what I was doing, but bought some rental houses and did everything the wrong way. And I was in corporate America, so I was had a high management position. Had all the benefits you could ever want, and I was just trying to diversify with real estate. And then after 10, 12 years went by, realizing that I wanted to do more with real estate, but what I was doing certainly was not going to get me where I wanted to go. And I was also at a point in my corporate world where the realization was coming to me that at the end of this career, there's nothing. It's just there's nothing at the end of this career. So I knew I had to do more for myself. So we started to really get involved in real estate by getting a lot of real education from people that are out there doing it every day, and flip another 7 years forward from that point, because we've been doing this now full time for 7 years. And we have rehabbed and flipped hundreds of homes. We have a pretty large rental portfolio now, but we have a rental portfolio of buying properties the correct way, not how I bought them in the beginning. And we continue to move forward doing that kind of stuff. We do owner finance stuff. We have note programs. We've evolved into doing a lot of different things, and this is what we do. And we also educate.
Very cool, very cool. So tell me the specific ways that you make money in real estate. You mentioned a few of them, but what specifically is sort of like your bread and butter, or your best opportunities?
Well, our best opportunities for years were fix and flip. Like I said, we fixed and flipped hundreds of homes. And then we started buying rental properties and to start building more passive income and build wealth, because I truly believe that rental properties is about building wealth, much more so than the cash flow. But you've got to buy them correctly so you've got cash flow to still have profit at the end of the year after you pay all the expenses out that you have with rental properties. So those are some great ways of generating revenue that we do. And then a couple of years ago, we started doing more owner finance as well. So by getting down payments and taking those notes and being the bank, taking the taxes, insurance, all that out of the equation, putting that on the buyer, that's started to generate income from that. And then we've got a note program that we created last year from existing mortgage notes, which has become a very good popular program. The way that we've set this up, we took a very long time in creating this, and I've got some really great partners that helped us develop this, and it's a really good program. And so we can put passive money into notes, and we manage it and do everything, and we take a little tiny spread off of it. But we're building that business as well. And then we've got our education company, the Wealth Club, and the Wealth Club, we generate a little bit of income from that, but that's more about our kind of our giving back side, and really giving education back to people and teaching people how to become investors the correct way, the honest, the ethical way, and evaluating your deals correctly so you're not getting in trouble. You know, so many people have gotten in trouble over the past couple of years with a great economy by buying properties too high, that we're trying to educate everybody to, you still have to stick within your guidelines and stick with the numbers. So those are some of the things that we do that help us make a living, and hopefully we're building obviously from that by buying more rental properties, owner financing more properties, still flipping some properties, and that's the kind of stuff that we're doing.
So what are some trends that you've noticed in in your local market?
Well, right now it's kind of crazy out there. What we're seeing is from a fixed and flip standpoint. I think if you're staying in the definitely under $200,000 range, preferably the 150, 160, 170 range, things are still happening out there. Deals are still moving.
Sure.
We get over 200, we get into the 300s. I mean, the market slows tremendously. And and I've got a couple properties we're trying to move that are in that upper price range that we had prior to all this, and we're now finally starting to get showings and getting some movement on them, but it's been slow. It's been very slow, and I've started to rethink, maybe we just refinance these things out, and I don't do high-end rentals, but I might not have a choice for the time being, and then when things get back to normal, sell them down the road. But I think you have to be really careful on the price point you're buying at, no matter what your exit strategy is. And you need to really look at areas of town, wherever you're at. There are certain areas of town that are not moving fast, and there are other areas that are moving fast. So trying to stay in the faster moving areas. Affordable housing is extremely important, and I think you can still profit. And I think as we go forward into the future, not having a crystal ball, I think we're going to, at some point, the economy's got to catch up with all the job loss, and as programs start to slow down for people getting money, things are going to happen. How it's going to shake out, I don't know. We're just trying to be very prepared for when it does happen, so we can move very quickly to capitalize.
I know that you've been involved in, the private lending space, and you have, a program. What are some of the, benefits of getting involved in, private lending in the real estate space?
Well, private lending is huge. We've been very fortunate to always use private lenders to fund all of our deals. And it's kind of funny because most people do that because they can't qualify for traditional financing. We always were able to qualify. That's never been a problem. Even to this day, it's no big deal to qualify, but we just never went down that path. And for passive investors and private lenders, I think as we go into the future, especially not knowing what's going on, being able to put your money into solid programs that you are protected, that are getting a return for you, is really important. I mean, the stock market, it's going all over the place. We're now, with everything crazy going on, we're hitting highs in the market, which is totally uncharacteristic of what should be happening. But like I said, because we're kind of in this false economy still, with all the stimuluses that have been pumped into the system, at some point that's got to change. And having your money in the right places when it does happen, having your money still there so you can be using it and still be making money on it, not losing tons of money, I think is going to be very important. And if you're wanting to be a passive investor, what we do is going to protect you a lot more. And like I said, we do a lot of affordable housing. So, we try to recession proof ourselves the best we can. So by being in more of affordable housing, this is where people can still always pay for houses. They can still pay the rent. You can still find tenants. Actually, through all of this, we have filled all of our properties up. Having vacancies right now that isn't happening. I mean, we are filling. A tenant moves out, we move another tenant in very quickly after they qualify. And so I think that trend is definitely going to continue. People still have to live places, and people that are losing jobs or have lost jobs, they're going to come down the scale for being able to pay rent. That's where those are the types of properties I have. I want them coming to me. So if you're a passive investor and you've also got a solid asset that you're dealing with, you're not dealing with whatever the stock market does out there, and you're dealing with individuals on a one-to-one basis. So it's building that relationship and teaching and showing your lenders how you work and what you do. And So passive investing, I think, is going to become even bigger than what it already is as we move forward in this market, especially when the bank money starts drying up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, now I know that you work with private lenders, but you also do lending. So let me ask you a question here. When you're looking to lend out money, thinking of it from the private lender hat, when you're looking to lend out money, what are some of the key 3 or 4 things you look for to see if that's either a deal or a person that you want to get involved with?
That's a great question. Actually, the first thing I look at over anything is the individual. It's all about the individual. Um, if something goes wrong, what's this individual going to do? What's going to happen when something goes wrong? And if you do enough deals, things do go wrong. That's just the way it is. And what's the character of this person? One of the things that has made us very solid from the borrower side is, one of our mottos has always been, our lenders get paid before we eat. We live and breathe that. And no matter what happens, our lenders get paid. And especially right now, and when all this, stuff started happening, we actually had a lot of our lenders calling and saying, hey, if we need to defer payments right now, we'll do that. And I've told every one of them to this point, absolutely not. You will get a payment every month. And it will be on time, just like it always has been. And every single payment has been on time. That's the kind of character I'm looking for in a person, first and foremost. Then we'll look at the deal that they're bringing to the table after I know who that person is. Now, the numbers have to work, and it has to be a deal, because unfortunately, a lot of people think that they can use private money on a deal that's not very good, because the hard money guys wouldn't lend to them, and that's like the worst approach in the world. I mean, a private lender is someone who has worked very hard for a very long time to save this money, and they're putting that responsibility in your hands. You better do everything you can to take care of them. So, from a lender standpoint, that's what's really important to me. Well, the deal comes second to that.
Okay, cool. Now I know that you've are a published author around this topic. Tell me a little bit about how you plan to use your book on private lending to reach out and help more lenders.
Well, the book. Thank you for mentioning that. The book is awesome. I mean, it's great education. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a fluff kind of a person. It's to the point. It tells you how it works. It explains and lays things out. It gives you examples of how passive investing works. And this is a book that I want everybody to have. I don't care about selling it. I want to get it in people's hands. And so, we're advertising it just for that. This is great education. If you want to come work with me after you read that book, that's fantastic. But if not, at least now, when you go out and lend money, you've got some education for yourself to help protect yourself, which is very, very important. I want people to be protected when they're putting themselves in this position, because it's your responsibility. Having money is responsibility, and it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. Nobody else is going to look out for you. So I think if I can get the better education I can give on this topic, then it comes back to you no matter what. And that's what's really important to me.
Let's go back to a question we said earlier. You mentioned about character is like the number one thing that you look for, when you're wanting to be to lend out to somebody. And I lend too, and that's really, really important. But how do you determine that? Because, I think Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And so everybody looks good and trustworthy and all this stuff when everything's going smooth. What strategies do you use, to really identify if somebody is the type of person you really want to, to lend to? Do you have any secrets or any tricks that you know of or questions?
Well, I don't know if there's any secrets or tricks out there. I mean, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character, but like you said, anybody can be fooled. And Mike Tyson's right. Everything's great till you get hit in the mouth. And I've been hit in the mouth. So, so that makes me be that much more aware of these types of things. But
So maybe experience.
Oh yeah, experience goes a long way. But I also think, finding out about a person, one of the things that I encourage all of anybody that wants to come work with us that wants to be a lender to us when we're the borrower, um, I encourage them to go find out about me. Go to my website. Go to talk to other people. I'm actually probably one of the very few people I know that I will give a new potential lender if after we determine that we want to work together, I will give them references of other lenders I work with to go talk to. I don't know anybody else that'll do that. Maybe there are other guys out there that will do it, but I've done it before. And I encourage them to do that. I want them to know who I am. And I want them to know that no matter what, their interest comes first. And those are, those are kind of things that I think of being a secret of what I'm looking at or what I want someone to look at for me. We try to put a lot of stuff out there in public so people do know who we are.
Right.
And the person that's trying to hide things from you, that's the person that I think you need to be careful of. The guy that's trying to be very pushy and come at you, that's the person you need to be aware of, be cautious of. One of the things that we never do is we never go out and ask anybody for money. We never ask for money. First thing I do is I build a relationship. And after we have built that relationship, then I present opportunities. And to me, it's very simple. I mean, there's a lot of steps that go into that, but that's really the key thing. If I had to give a key note to that, that's what it would be.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I want to talk a little bit with the time that we have left about your wealth club. Okay. I know that you're all about, education and helping people. So let me ask you this. Is now a good time to get into real estate? If somebody's watching this and they're an aspiring real estate investor, should they do it now? Should they quit their job and just jump in all in? Like, I know everybody's situation is different, but just what are your thoughts? I know you talk to a lot of people who have a ton of experience, but then you talk to new people too. Is now a good time to get into real estate and be a real estate investor?
I think right now is an excellent time to get into real estate and be a real estate investor. Do I think you should just jump up and quit your job? No, I do not. I actually have a class I teach and a presentation I give about, and it's called Moving from the Job to Investor. And I give the whole story of how we did it. Now, we were very, very systematic, and we planned exactly how we were going to leave corporate America and do this full time. And I think that that's very important. Anybody that, if you've got a good job with all your benefits, don't jump out of it. Hang on to it. Learn the steps. Set goals. Set milestones of where you have to be able to make that transition. When I made the transition, I've been doing this full time out of corporate America for 6 years now, and I was in a position where I was the general manager of a company, so I had a good salary, I had all the benefits anybody could ever want, I had all insurance, I had everything. And when I left that company, I left all that behind. So you have to set yourself up to know that you're going to be able to have success doing this. But right now, I think is an excellent time, especially as we see things maybe going in the future to give us even greater opportunities than we could have imagined ever before. Opportunities, it's very similar to 2008, 2009 opportunities. I'm thinking that will come. It's strictly what I think. There's no set stone that's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball, but based on just logic of what's going on out there, I think that if you're just new, getting education right now is very, very important. So when the time comes, you can pull the trigger and you can start making those great steps forward, and go out there and have wonderful success in your life. And with the Wealth Club, those are the kinds of things we teach. With the workshops we do, with the meetings we have, with our mastermind, these are all the things that we try to teach all of our members and any guests that join us as well.
And in addition to being an educator and teaching, you also invest in your own education.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this. What has your experience been like? Can you speak to a little bit about what your experience has been like being in our trusted expert program? Has it been, beneficial so far? Is it something that you would recommend to other people?
Oh, without a doubt, being a part of your group and everything, as it's, we do our mastermind calls every other week. It's very insightful. It's, everybody communicating with each other. It's throwing different ideas out there, helping each other grow and move forward, which is really the key and the important thing about a mastermind. Is a mastermind is not something that you should go and try to beat people up over. It's to help everybody grow. And those are very important things to do. Also, having support, when I have questions, I can call you, I can text you, and the things I need help with, all the technical side of everything. I'm not the technical person, and I need help in those areas. And so being able to reach out to someone like yourself, to Brant, or any of the other guys in the group, guys or gals in the group that have that knowledge, that's huge for me, because I don't have a problem going out and making things happen. But when it comes to the technical side, oh, that's a whole new world to me. And so, having the group and having a group that can support that for me is huge. And then just like I said, then just sharing what can we all do to help each other grow is and in this day and age, a lot of it is the technical stuff that we do to help us grow. So it's been very, very helpful and very huge for me.
Cool. Well, what's the best way, we're going to kind of close down. What is the best way that people, can reach out to you, whether they're interested in selling their house, or they're interested in your private lending program, or they're interested in your getting a copy of your newest book, or, I mean, you have a lot of stuff here, or they're interested in one of your education programs. I think that class that you teach is like brilliant. I mean, helping people not jump in too soon. I see that just as much as I see people not ever making the jump, and both are bad. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so what's the best way that people can connect with you and reach out to get plugged into all your programs?
Yeah, well, there's several ways, and I'll give you first thing that anybody can do is go to our website, thewealthclub.org, and then you have to put thewealthclub.org. If you just put Wealth Club, it'll take you to some company in England, so you don't want to go there. It's not us. So thewealthclub.org, and then if anybody would like to get a copy of a book, all that's on the website as well. But you can email us at svsm, Sam Victor Sam Mary, at svsmllc.com, and we will send out ebooks to you immediately. We do have hard copies as well. It's all hard copy, paper book copies. We want to get our education into everybody's hands, whether we do business or not. It's important for me to know that I'm giving you good education to help you make the right decisions for yourself. Remember, at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about you. And I think if more people taught that way, then we'd all be better off anyhow. But the decisions you make aren't going to affect me, so I want you to make good decisions so it affects you and helps you. But those are some of the best ways to get a hold of us. We do have a phone number, and I'm totally blank on it at the moment because I never call it. But let me see, 713-644-3500. So if you want to call the office, we can, you can ask us anything. We'll have any requests. Feel free to call us as well, and Angie will direct the call in however it needs to go. And those are the easiest ways to get a hold of us.
Wonderful. Well, cool. Well, we'd love to have you back on, get an update of how things are going, find out if those office buildings in Houston are full of office workers, or storage, or affordable housing, or all the other theories. There's just so much unknown, but constantly being educated, and because, when new things happen, everybody learns them. It's just how quickly do you learn them? And so being plugged in, we love having you in our group because you're have such a great attitude, and you have great integrity. You're a very rare person. There's very few people out there who are so coachable and they always want to learn, and then they share it with other people. You know, that's like a real gift. You're helping a lot of people. So
Thank
I
you
know,
very
I mean,
much.
we can make money doing a lot of things, but it feels good to help people too. So
It does.
appreciate everything that you're doing, and it's been really fun getting to work with you too. And we'll have you back on and get an update of how things are going. But check out his book. Reach down. We're gonna put the contact information down below, but definitely reach out to Steve, and he will take good care of you.
Yeah, I certainly will. Thank you very much, Max. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Well, until next time, we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.